As you know, the fanboys online are still crying about the Canelo fight. Now Crawford ran the whole fight, and that's how he beat Canelo, and he out-jabbed him. Now, when you're winning fights, you're an all-time great. They overhyped you. You beat this guy in this era. You would beat this guy in this era. Now, boxing legend, especially in the UK, Joe Calazghe, who had big wins over Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, Jeff Lacy, he has won all the step-up fights that he could get. You know what I'm saying? And he expresses his opinion on Canelo, where he belongs on an all-time great list. So we are going to listen to Joe Calazghe, and I'm going to give my opinion afterwards. I don't own the rights to this content. It's for educational purposes only. Joe Calazghe, where do you rank Canelo in an all-time great list in boxing?
You seem more disappointed with Canelo than you were impressed with Crawford.
Oh, I was impressed. Yeah, I was impressed with Crawford. I thought he done great. You know, he's a great boxer. I think he fought the right fight. But also, it was a combination of Canelo. I didn't think, didn't really throw any punches. You know, he's flat-footed. He's quite flat-footed. But yeah, he done well. Put in the best pound for pounds. I mean, suiting weights ever. I'm not sure about that. I think.
What does it mean for Canelo's legacy? Obviously, I know you can say he did get the decision, obviously, in the Golovkin fight, or in the controversies there. But with Canelo now, he's lost to Crawford, he's lost to Bivol, and he's lost to Floyd. You could say he's lost to all of the best fighters he's fought, bar Golovkin possibly. Do you think that's damning for his legacy, or do you think his legacy is pretty assured given his volume of big fights?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think when you look at it, I think I wouldn't put him as an all-time great, to be honest, because he had, like you just said, he's lost his biggest fights. But he's still a great fighter. The among the fights he's had, among the wins he's had, he's had some great wins, but, he's against the top fighters, he's lost, isn't he? Going from Mayweather, I thought he lost the one Golovkin, definitely lost one of the Golovkin fights,
Now, at the beginning, Calazghe has mentioned that Canelo is flat-footed. Canelo's been flat-footed all his career. People still believe that Canelo would have beat a Bivol, and a lot of people pick Canelo to beat Crawford, even though he is flat-footed. But this is what I'm talking about with an all-time great status, right? I mean, when Canelo was on his winning streak, when he went undisputed, when he beat 3 undefeated champions to become undisputed at 168, Canelo was on an all-time high, right? They thought he beat Sugar Ray Robinson. They think he would beat this guy, he would beat that guy. He would beat anybody from any era. That's how they had Canelo. They had Canelo beating the heavyweights. You know what I mean? That's the overhype right there. Now they start to underrate him once he loses. That's how it goes, right? Miguel Cotto was old. Shane Mosley was old when he fought him. He lost to old Mayweather. Mayweather wasn't in his prime as well as Canelo wasn't in his prime, right? So they're both equal. He lost to Mayweather. He lost to Dimitri Bivol. Went up to light heavyweight and lost to Dimitri Bivol. Then he lost to Terence Crawford, who came up 3 weight classes. All that stuff starts to magnify when you lose. And not only are they saying that you lost the biggest fights in your career, they're also saying they are also picking other fights that he should have lost, like the Triple G fight and Austin Trout. Some people thought he lost those fights in Laura as well. So when you're the king of the mountain, everybody's looking up at you, right? When you lose that crown, people start looking down at you. They start piling on top of you. They start picking at you, looking at certain situations in your career that should have went the other way. Now, is Canelo on a boxing Mount Rushmore? In my opinion, I don't think so. But I don't even have Terence Crawford on the boxing Mount Rushmore. I'm real picky when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to Joe Calazghe in his boxing career, yeah, he retired undefeated, 46-0 with 32 knockouts. I think the best wins of his career was Jeff Lacy, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Omar Shika. But I think his best win was Jeff Lacy because Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones have the bigger names, but they were old. But he did win those fights, and I think that's the point Calazghe is trying to make. My biggest fights of my career, I won. And according to him, the biggest fights of Canelo's career, Canelo couldn't get it done. But when you look on the other side of things, Canelo has done something Calazghe couldn't do. He became undisputed at 168, regardless what you think about it. It was too easy. The era was different. He got it done. Calazghe didn't. So Calazghe says that Canelo is a great boxer, not an all-time great. What do you think? Do you agree with them or do you disagree? Leave your comments below. BZ, I'm gone.